Welcome to Speakernomics, the official podcast of the National Speakers Association. I'm Kenneth Kinney, but friends call me Shark, and like you, I'm a professional speaker, and I love listening to Speakernomics. Speakernomics is a professional speaker show that will help you thrive and grow a speaking business, so you too can change the world, one keynote session workshop and speech at a time. And on this episode, we'll be looking at a problem again from quite a few different perspectives and expert points of view, and then we'll draw some answers and insights that thread that discussion. Now, to all my speaking friends in our speaking community, we see what others go through, what we went through to get to where we are, where we were, and where we're going in our speaking journeys. Some of us know a lot about what speakers should do, and then others, like yours truly, take a longer path to learning than we should. One of the things that I've found, though, and I've heard meeting planners say directly, is I wish that other speakers knew X or Y or Z. It was something that I even looked at differently when I started my own conference. So what is that thing that helps successful speakers stand out with their knowledge of the speaking business that makes meeting professionals glad they booked you because of your awesome knowledge? Audiences feel better about what they're seeing as they hang on to their seats. And then learn from other successful speakers who did things in their business who want to see you advance more quickly and advance with some of the mistakes that we all have to endure. Many of these lessons can make or break the perception of you and your business and your craft. The real question is then, what do you wish every speaker knew? Let's dive in then with the perspectives of what it takes from other successful speakers and what they needed to learn. Let me remind you too that if you're not following their voices on the audio version, then make sure to check out NSA's YouTube channel to watch the video version of the show there. The experts we're showcasing today, all 12 of them in order of appearance, include CSP and Hall of Famer Sam Silverstein, CSP and Hall of Famer Amanda Gore, CSP Joyce Marter, CSP and CPAE Bill Cates, CSP Stan Phelps, Larry Long Jr., CSP and Hall of Famer Laurie Guest, Jeff Rogers, Tamra Gaines, CSP and CPAE Jeff Civillico, President, co-founder of speaker agency Campus Speak, David Stollman, and finally, C Agency Speaker Manager and author of Become a Bookable Speaker, Christa Haberstock. And before we jump in, make sure to go to Speakernomics.com. That's where you can find the tips, insights, and knowledge to help you become a better speaker, build a better business, and get paid to speak. Now, let's learn from some special people, and then I'll see you on the other side with some takeaways. Sam, you're a Hall of Fame speaker. What do you wish that every speaker today knew?
As a professional speaker, it's not about what happens today. It's about what's going to happen in the future. And while we need to generate revenue now, we need to make sales now, we need to put food on the table. There's no two ways about that. If we make decisions that are based on long-term situations, we're going to make infinitely better decisions. For example, my career was launched with my first book, and then I went a long time before I wrote another book. Looking back, that was somewhat of a mistake. Now I'm 14 books in and 15 is on the way and all that. The investment I've made in time over time to create all this content drives my business. And so if I had realized earlier that it was important to just stay with whatever it was that I was doing, I would have gotten the return and the result earlier. So whether it's podcasting, whether it's writing articles, shooting short videos for social media, writing books is what trips my trigger, whatever it is, it's about commitment and consistency. And if you make decisions based on the long run, then what happens is you'll start to gain significant benefits in the short run, but you will be positioning yourself for long-term sustainable success.
Amanda, you've been in the business a long time. You've met a lot of speakers. You've seen a lot of them come and go. What do you wish every speaker knew?
You know, Shark, I wish that they all knew, but I think they do, that being authentic is the single most important thing that you can do as a speaker, and that this is not an ego game. And too many speakers I've seen come in and allow their egos to take over, and it's all about them. And surprise, surprise, folks, it's not all about you. It's about what you can do for your clients and the people in the audience and how you can serve them.
Joyce, what do you wish that every speaker knew?
I wish that every speaker knew that you have your own voice. You have your own message. No one else is you. You have a purpose to share that message with the world, and you shouldn't compare yourself to anybody else. You don't need to be different. You don't need to do anything different. The more that you are aligned with your authentic self and your unique gifts, the better you're going to be able to put that message out in the world, and you will be returned with that with financial abundance.
Bill, you got a Hall of Fame of experience in speaking. What do you wish all speakers knew?
I wish they all knew how important it is to connect with the audience, particularly even before you go on stage. I found that when you connect with the audience, and there's a lot of ways to do that, they're rooting for you. They want you to be successful. And you can feel the energy, energy changes. Now, I connect with the audience a few ways. Number one, I'll interview some folks before my program, and then I'll show slides and photos and quotes from the people that I interviewed during my session. They love that. I'll shake as many hands as I can before I go on stage, as long as logistics allow that. Every now and then you can't do that, but if there's a break before I go on, et cetera, I'm shaking hands, I'm conversing with folks. You can connect with a great statistic. You can connect with a great story. You can connect with humor. There's a lot of ways to connect, but that's the most important thing. If you connect in a good way, they'll forgive you your ums. They'll forgive you leaning on the lectern. They'll forgive you anything if you make that connection first.
Stan, what is it that you wish every speaker knew?
Well, I didn't learn this till, being in NSA for about 6 or 7 years. And I in 2019, I got my CSP. And one of the neat things you get to do as CSP is you get to go to the CSP CPAE Summit. And I'm in a group, and part of my mastermind group for this event was Mike Staver. And so I remember sitting in, this is with all accomplished people that have earned their CSP or even in the Hall of Fame. And Mike goes, we overcomplicate what it means to be successful in this business. He goes, you only have to do 4 things. And I literally, I could not get my pen out quick enough. And literally, if you boil this down, it's like 22 words, right? He goes, 1, you have to create world-class content that solves a problem. I went, oh, that's pretty good. He goes, 2, he says, you have to deliver it in an engaging way. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. It doesn't matter how good your content is. If, the audience, if you lose the audience, he goes, 3, he goes, you have to be easy to work with. You can't be a diva. You got to show up early. You got to do what you say you're going to do. You got to deliver. And I'm like, well, what possibly could be number 4? And he kind of twinkles. He goes, you got to finish on time. And I was like, literally, it's the only cardinal rule that we have. And I tell people, that was a really good basis. I think number 5 is you have to be demonstrably different. You have to have something about your content or yourself that stands out and gives people a reason to recommend you. And so to me, if I would known those 5 things when I was starting out, I feel like I would have been in a much better position for my business.
Larry, what do you wish that all speakers knew? And you can even apply to your younger you.
Oh, Shark, I learned this lesson the hard way. It was over the course of Q1 and Q2 last year when I took my eye off the ball. I had engagements booked, and I stopped filling the funnel. I stopped prospecting, which is a leading indicator to not doing well in Q3 and Q4. So just making sure that in this 3-legged stool of selling our speaking engagements, preparing, delivering, creating our content, as well as delivering, you got to make sure that you're doing all 3. And unfortunately, I stopped selling, and it hit me hard because we're in a sales position. Although we speak and we rock the mic, we're really in sales, selling our services and or products. And I hope all speakers know, always be selling, which means always be helping and looking for those opportunities to help, serve, and speak on those stages. So that's my biggest piece of advice. And I learned the hard way. It won't happen again.
Laurie, you're a Hall of Fame speaker, but for all speakers at all levels, what do you wish all speakers knew?
How important your database is. From the very beginning, keeping track of every person who has interest in your work, even if you don't know what you're going to do with the list. As you mature in the business, you will figure out what you're going to do with it. And I have thousands and thousands of names that I never captured early on because I just didn't see where it was going to lead. Big mistake.
Jeff, what do you wish, including your younger speaking self, what do you wish all speakers knew?
I wish that all speakers knew that whatever they do on stage is right. There are not mistakes. It may not be the note that they wanted to play, but that's not a mistake. That's an opportunity. That's a doorway to something different, something new, being present in the moment. And I think if more speakers embraced that and enabled themselves to feel comfortable in that space of the unknown, they would surprise themselves as to what they could discover and what the audience is willing to go along with. So that actually comes from a story that Herbie Hancock tells about being on stage with Miles Davis, the world's greatest trumpeter, and he played the wrong chord. And Miles Davis just looks over at him slightly and proceeds to take the song in an entirely new direction that made that chord the right chord. And off stage afterwards, Herbie Hancock apologized profusely, saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry that I did that." And he's, no, that was the way we were supposed to go. In that moment, that was right. And so that attitude, that sort of mindset can lead to some really cool places.
Tamra, you've got a lot of experience in the meetings industry and hiring speakers and working at conferences and events before you became a professional speaker. What is it that you wish that every speaker knew?
Well, there are more speakers to choose from than meeting planners have need, right? So understanding that sometimes you're putting yourself out there and you may not get the gig, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're not on a list. And so how do you stay top of mind? What's your outreach back to those people, that it's not a one and done marketing effort. So staying top of mind, I think, is part of that. The biggest thing maybe on the flip side is don't be a diva, but also don't surprise the meeting planner. Some little things that might surprise someone is, you show up the morning of your morning keynote and you've got a handout that now needs to be placed. And, they've already had a team in there placing handouts in a very specific and particular way. Or you didn't arrange that you're planning on having books or something available afterward. Those surprises impact the agenda, but it really, more than anything, impacts your reputation with the type of referral that you might get in the future.
So when you did that, when you came up across that, how would someone do that the correct way? Just cover it before?
Yeah, let us know, let the planners know ahead of time. And 9 times out of 10, if there's another, say, sponsor handout that's going to be placed, they'll provide the team to do your, to put your hand out for you so that you don't have to come in and do it on your own. How I handled it on site is I would always allow it, but I would give them very specific instructions. The sponsor handout has to be faced up. Yours, it has to be this way, and it has to be consistent on all these chairs. And I no longer have a staff that can help you with this. So you have 15 minutes to do what you can on your own. If I could pull staff in, I would, but everybody has a role in the mornings to get things kicked off, to get registration pulled up, to get breakfast out. So being able to coordinate and plan that ahead of time is a planner's dream.
Jeff, what do you wish that all speakers knew?
I want to take this one a little bit different direction, if that's okay. I wish that, not that they knew necessarily, but I wish that all speakers, especially I would say kind of beginning to intermediate speakers, maintained a mindset that was a bigger picture, longer term view that they're building a business over time. That if they're going to do this, they need to take a longer perspective, have a bigger picture view. Because I have so many people in my world who see me do something and they say, was that worth it? Is that worth it? Is NSA worth it? Is this course worth it? Is that showcase worth it? And honestly, like, I hate that question because I'm like, how do I answer that for you? Like, it could be worth it for me and not worth it for you. It could be, worth it, by the way. It could be worth it to me immediately. It could be worth it to me 10 years from now, right? I don't really understand. I reject the premise there, right? It's like, what does that even mean? And I get that question so much about anything that I do. And, hey, I see you're doing a YouTube show. Is that worth it? I'm like, it's content. I enjoy doing it. It makes me happy. It gives me something to talk about. Like, what they really are asking is, has someone said, I just saw your TED Talk and I'd like to book you for a gig for $1 million? Like, that's what they want to know. Like, a friend of mine just literally said, I saw you TEDx talk, like, got a whole bunch of views. Like, was that worth it? Like, should I do that? Is that worth it? I'm like, I don't know. Like, when you Google me, it comes up, it looks cool. It's a good talk, what he really wants to know is, has someone clicked through and said, wow, this talk, I need to hire you and pay you right now for this thing. And I just think that's such a provincial way of looking at any marketing that you're doing, any type of association you're joining, any type of business development. Like, we sometimes think way too small as speakers. So that's the one thing, if I kind of took a question in a different direction, but that I'm very passionate about that, as you can see, because I really think that a lot of speakers will try something once and then it wasn't quote unquote worth it to them. And they're like, I'm not going to do that ever again. I'm like, that's such a short term way of thinking that is not going to serve you if you're really building a business over decades. And if you're not, like, what are you doing? It's fine, but you're not, don't say you're a professional speaker and this is your industry. Like, it's one thing if you're do all these other things, you do a couple talks here and there and that's fine. But for people who say, I want to be a speaker full time and I want to go hard and I want to be, doing the 80 dates plus on the road, like, you're going to have to invest time, money, energy over a long haul. And there's a lot of things that you're going to do that you might not necessarily get immediate benefit or value. Again, it comes back to that transactional idea. I think people are like, I do this, I want to get something. It's like, that's not the way this industry works.
David, what do you wish that all speakers knew?
As an agent,
We have 6 hours for this.
And I will be, I think we would all be better if all speakers knew it's not about them. This isn't about you. It's about how you serve. It's about how people leave the room better because they spent the time with you. So that is from your marketing all the way through to your aftercare and everything in between. It's not about you and your process in the contracting. It's about them. It's not about you and what you want to share about you. It's about what the audience needs from you. It's not your marketing material centered around you, but centered around your audience and the impact that it has. So it's not about you would be a good general theme that I think all speakers could enter their work with a sense of humility, a sense of service, and would improve the industry. And I believe would improve the people that we work with.
On the agency side, do you run into that a little bit, medium, or a lot?
We have, from the start, we have a no diva policy. So working in as Campus Speak does work in education, we're often working with younger professionals and even students that may be the arranger of the event. And if something is missing, like the chairs aren't set right,
or the stage isn't exactly as it was expected. We expect that our speakers are the ones that help move furniture if necessary. That, it's not about them and having a green room. That's not how it works in our field. And we actively avoid speakers who engage, whether knowingly or oftentimes not knowingly, engage in behaviors and attitudes and business practices where it's about them.
Christa, what do you wish that every speaker knew?
The standing ovation is not for them. It's for the person who hired them, the person who suggested them, the person who put their butt on the line to write the check and or take it to their CEO to write the check, whoever it is. The standing ovation is not for the speaker. It is for the person who brought them there to speak.
Let's do a quick recap then based on their speaking lesson they knew. First, think long-term and build consistently. This isn't about chasing just one gig or hoping one video goes viral. The most successful speakers play the long game. They speak, write, record, build their database, and keep selling. Consistency compounds. It's a great way to create a sustainable career. Second, it's not about you, it's about service. Too often, speakers let ego get in the way. The truth is, our job is to serve the meeting professional and the audience. It's not about us. That means being easy to work with, honoring time, avoiding surprises, and remember that the standing ovation isn't for you. It's for the person who trusted you to be there. Third, differentiate by connecting and over-delivering value. Great speakers don't just present content, they engage. They create real connections before, during, and after the program. They bring something distinct that sets them apart, and they know how to turn even an unexpected moment into an opportunity. That's what makes them memorable and referable. If you commit to those three things, consistency, service, and connection, you'll not only elevate your career, but you'll also elevate this industry for us all. Friends, make sure to go to Speakernomics.com and let your voice be heard. I'm Kenneth Shark-Kinney, your host of the National Speakers Association's podcast, Speakernomics, and this has been another fantastic episode of the show. Thank you for the privilege of your time. And remember, Speakernomics is a podcast where you'll learn to speak, get paid, repeat,